How to learn about investing money. So we're going to talk about that in detail. I'm going to give you 4 very specific asset classes that I love. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you my absolute number one thing that I love to invest in. So before we get started on all of that, let me add a little piece of just due diligence. Due diligence is something that very few people ever learn or spend time with. So I'm actually going to read 7 very specific things that I think you need to master. So due diligence, I actually write about it in my Wealth Cycle Investing book. And then as long as you're willing to talk to my team at the end of our conversation, I'm going to give you that and my link as a free ebook gift, because I really want you to read the due diligence chapter. Because things like, is investing congruent with your money rules? Well, there's another chapter in the book about money rules. And do you have money rules? What's the project's exit? And be really clear about that. Are you in this for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Unknown terms. Is it big money investing? Meaning, are you the only investor at 50 or 100 and most people at $250,000, $500,000, $1 million? Like, what is that? Who has oversight? Which means who is managing the project. And you want to know that all the way down to who has control of the bank account of this investment. Is the information public? Are you going to get, whether it's QuickBooks or what accounting records for the P&Ls and balance sheets of the project are you going to be getting every month or every quarter? And will the marketing and business plan actually deliver the economics of the project? If you were, offered, and you see all these ads with all these real estate, groups going on right now, we're promising, excellent returns. Well, what's excellent to you? Is that 8%? 10%, 12%? What is that to you? And can the board really execute this plan? So where you have to look at is, do they have the history to do it? Now, at the end, I'm going to give you, again, this is probably my favorite book of all my 5 books because it's about investing. And without investing your money, you're going to work for the rest of your life. So let's jump into 4 very specific assets that I love. I am invested in. I can't tell you again that I'm a financial planner, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I can tell you I'm in these, and a lot of my clients are these, and I love teaching and educating you about them. So I'm going to talk specifically about 4 asset classes that I think are great deals, right? But again, I'm not a financial planner. I can't tell you what to do. So the way that I teach you and advocate for you is we talk scenarios, we talk stories, and our community is enormous in this conversation. The next thing I'm going to talk about is why the stock market is an emotional arbitrage. And I have one tool for you that can absolutely protect you from downsides of the stock market. And then I'm going to share with you my number 1 favorite at the end of the video. So get a pen and paper, let's roll. So the 4 things that I always look for, and believe it or not, I actually look for businesses faster than I look for real estate. Even though I'm a real estate and gas and oil millionaire, in around 2003, 4, and 5, I started really buying companies, like little broken companies. And I bought little ones and I bought big ones. So I became a millionaire in nutraceuticals. I ran a supplement company. I did another awesome one in recycled glass. So also millionaires in those categories. So I love being a shark. Right. So, until Shark Tank became Shark Tank and gave us kind of people a name, I've been doing this since the late 1990s. I've been doing this a long time, which is why I have some experience. And I also get a ton of experience with my clients. They're brilliant. And my clients become millionaires in all these different categories. But buying a business is still right at the top. Shark Tank's one of the most looked at shows. Why? Because people are fascinated by it. So first of all, let's back up from that. What do you have to do? Well, for you to even buy a company, I would highly encourage you, if you're not, to become an entrepreneur, or at least get close to entrepreneurs, or invest in entrepreneurial businesses. So if you're out there and you have a job and you say, well, I'm out, then I can't do it. You can do it. It's just you don't have a lot of time to run a company. But if you can't run a company, and I'm just going to stop right there and just tell you what it takes to run a company. You better know marketing, sales, accounting. You better know fulfillment, operations, technology, customer service. You got to know it all. Team, leadership, you got all this stuff to know. So if you have a full-time job, knowing every detail of being able to evaluate a company gets a little challenging. So the only way I know how to teach you is get side by side. Right? And that's exactly what I do when I ask people or invite people in to mentor with me. Get side by side and let's go. If you want to learn how millionaires roll or sharks roll, you got to get close to us. You can't imagine it. You can't read books about it. You got to get close. And I've been mentored since I was 17. So I can't imagine you trying to buy a company without somebody guiding you. But I can tell you it's hot. Why? The pandemic. The pandemic has created so many problems in being an entrepreneur. I mean, I would say, only the strong survive is the theme of, 2020, 2021, and even into 2022, because of what our lovely politicians have done. Now we have amazing inflation we have to deal with as entrepreneurs. So if it's not one thing, it's the other thing. You band together with other entrepreneurs. But buying companies is hot. I'm probably offered equity in companies 3 to 5 times a week. And I'm like, no, I don't want your seeds because I know what you want. You want me to come in and do all the work for you. What I'm doing right now is I'm harvesting. I'm on the other side of that, but I do it for good deals. And I think here's the homework for you if you're out there. I would start driving around your town and I would go to the obvious places, right? Like I helped a coffee shop last year, actually end of 2020, stay and be sustainable. Restaurants need help. Your auto dealerships need help. Your hobby stores need help. Your hair salons need help. All of these businesses have been affected by the pandemic. And so what they need is usually capital, or honestly, they're exhausted after all of this. They need some energy. They need some new thinking to come in and help get their company back on track. So buying businesses is still number one on my top. Number two are notes. I love notes where basically you're the bank. I've been a bank, hard money lender is another term for it. So you can be the bank, an investor for other people and let them grow. So a really good one that I like are construction notes where you're in first position. Now, second position, that's rough. And even if you record the deed or you record the note, you're going to be behind somebody who's probably going to take it all. So I don't like second position. So if you found yourself in those and you need to get untangled, call my office. We'll figure out how to help you untangle your little mess you got yourself into. But first position notes, awesome. And they can make you a lot of money. I have a lot of clients in our community who buy notes. I mean, that's what their primary business is. They just buy notes and they're the bank for 20, 30, 40 homeowners who blew their credit and a traditional bank won't give them a loan. So you could be the bank for them where you get monthly mortgages essentially and you get paid. So love notes. Number 3 is just basic real estate, right? So you can do fix and flip. Right now, it's a huge seller's market in a lot of markets, so you got to be really careful. I have a lot of my clients buying land in preparation for what's coming to their state, potentially cannabis or hemp farms, and just land in general. Water rights are extraordinary. So I do a lot of real estate. I'm doing RV parks. I have Airbnb. I have a whole variety of kinds of real estate. So for you that are super, super conservative, you can go into insurance. So life insurance instead of death insurance is critical. And there's so many high valued kinds of insurance. And there's crop insurance, right? We call it life insurance and death insurance. The kind of insurance that I invest in is policies where I pay in for a certain amount of time and I get cash flow for the next 15 years. I also do insurance in a banking way where it can become a bank for you. So love insurance products. Annuities, there's a few that are okay. Not a huge fan. They take enormous fees. Like if you don't know the person that sold you an annuity probably gets about 100% commission. It's in the fine little print. So they did disclose it. You just didn't read it. So there's just a lot of fees when you're in the traditional stock market. So not a fan. So let's go there next. Now, before I go to the stock market and tell you why I would run from it the way that you're doing it and only do it the way that I'm doing it, and I'm not giving you advice. It's a safety measure. Before I do that though, if you're enjoying this, subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know more about those different asset classes that I talked about, search in my bar up above in my channel. I do a ton of work on insurance, real estate, funding, notes. I mean, I've talked about this for hours and hours. And while you're at it, and hit the notification so you hear me every day, 5 days a week. We're going to be out here together getting financially literate. And in your comments, make notes, like let me know. I have folks out every day watching those comments. And if there's something you want me to talk more about, I'd love to bring it back to the channel. iFlip. iFlip is a software. And at the end, I'm going to give you a link to my free app. And I say mine because I am an owner in it with many other people. And it is a software that is designed by one of the most brilliant men that I know, literally the most brilliant man. And he designs these algorithms that are AI driven that will pull you out of the market when it gets too volatile. So it's a software. It's not an investment. It's not something that you are going to have lots of fees and hidden fees like a traditional stock market or bonds or mutual funds. So you pick the different smart folios, they're called, and the AI trades. So for example, here's the winning ticket that I love to share. In March 2020, when the market crashed below 1929 rates, I mean, we were the lowest market ever. I lost about 2.8. Average iFlip software holders lost around 3.3. The market lost 33. And your good old traditional financial planner said, oh, you're in for the long haul. You'll make it all up. Well, you had to recover 30% before you even got any growth. And I only had to recover 2.8%. So why are you taking such enormous risks by parking your money and praying to God that somebody that takes a bunch of fees from you, probably not even a millionaire? There's very few financial planners and stock traders that actually do it for the public that are multimillionaires. Very few. And if you're out there and you're listening and you say, well, I'm one, I'd love to know. I would love to know that. I'd love to have that conversation with you. So again, at the end in the link below, we're going to give you a free app to just try out the software. And by the way, your kids can get an account too. So the last thing I want to talk about is my favorite, which is real estate. I love real estate, and I love doing it in a different way. So I'm going to give you a new word that a lot of you probably have never heard of, and our community made it up. It's called Pactive. It's passive and active. See, some of you would love to just park your money and pray someone like figures it all out for you, and you don't have to get financially literate. That's really risky life choice. So I want you in this channel. I want you here every day with me. And the way that I do real estate, like I was in real estate. I was doing 29 houses a month. I was in so many markets. I mean, it's what I did from 1999 to about 2005. I ran business in real estate. See, I define business and investing in real estate as two very different things. But you can't just invest in real estate and then do nothing. You need to show up to shareholder meetings. You need to read the P&Ls. You need to be involved and active. If I was you and you really don't know how the project's running, say you invest with a group of people in a real estate project, you need to fly out there and go see it until you really are comfortable with like reviewing things by numbers. And I want you to get to know, Pactive means I want you to get to know the owner, the driver, the manager of the project. And Pactive means you're going to be somewhat active, but passively watching. They do all the work. You bring the money. You get a great return. You get a great investment. And you can be in a lot of diverse markets that way. So if you want to learn more about that, again, search inside my channel. I have tons on real estate because that's what I'm in. My first millionaire status was in real estate. I love it. So don't ever walk away from having real estate in your portfolio. So as I said earlier, I'm going to give you this. So in the link below, you're going to get this book. It's an ebook copy. So I'm super excited to give it to you. Money rules and due diligence are critical that you read. There's also an application to apply to work with our team. So I have assembled an enormous team of experts that can really help you understand money rules, build your money rules, build your due diligence rules so you protect yourself and set yourself up for generational wealth. So click on the link below. I'll see you tomorrow.